Welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. Today is going to be something a little different. I am without Dustin today, and I'm sorry, but he will be back once again soon. I'm going to be doing these little, I think, in-between episodes of the podcast, just talking about particular movies and stuff of that nature. I am a huge, this is Travis, by the way, I forgot to say that. I'm a huge film fan, like movie buff, film junkie, whatever you want to call it. Click down in the description below, guys, and check out my quick thoughts on The Gentleman. If you want a quicker, kind of short, I think it was 2 to 3 minute quick thoughts on The Gentleman, you can click on that and enjoy that, and let me know your thoughts. And that's the link to my main channel. Every now and then I'll do little quick thoughts, and I want to do it more because I really enjoy movies, and I really enjoy kind of discussing them and going more in depth and detail. And in that video I mentioned that you could click the link below and be directed to this podcast, because I wanted to go in more depth into The Gentleman, just as a longer form review. I don't know how long I'll keep you. I definitely am not going to make these film reviews an hour long, definitely at all, because I probably don't even have enough to fill up an hour, and there's no point in that. So they're just gonna be, I think, as long as I wish to go and however much information that I have. I hope you guys will enjoy it. This is just a part of me and what I love and what I do, and I always enjoy discussing films with other people and everything, and I've done movie reviews on my main channel, but it's just something that I feel like belongs more of on a long form kind of situation, because it's definitely just, I don't have the time to do edited film reviews on my channel, along with my food reviews and everything that I do, and everything that I've been doing for years on my channel is built up to this one thing. And I have incorporated movies into my main channel, and I definitely have done, on my podcast before I started doing this podcast with Dustin, was called Trap Talks on my main channel, and I have a few movie reviews with guests on there, and I love that format. That was kind of, I guess, my practice, I guess you could say, to eventually be able to do something like this, but with somebody else, because I've always needed help with a podcast, and I can't bring myself to run one alone. It's just, there's so much to that, plus with my food reviews and everything. So it's been a joy and a pleasure to do it with Dustin, and I hope that you'll join me. So I'm going to be talking about The Gentleman today, guys. The Gentleman is a Guy Ritchie movie that I indulged myself into tonight, and I gotta say right off the bat, I really, really enjoyed this movie a lot. I really was taken away into kind of this, sort of world that is like our own and modern, and really, really kind of speaks to you in a way, but, also is very kind of, it's a crime film. It's a very, I guess, smart, quote-unquote, crime film. Guy Ritchie kind of does these movies like this, and by the way, he also did the live-action Aladdin, and I don't know why it's such a random thing for Guy Ritchie, because we're more used to these kind of crime drama, kind of comedies, because The Gentleman is definitely a comedy in a lot of ways, and there's some really funny moments, and that I find myself really laughing really hard at anything. Yes, not really. A lot of the audience laughed harder than I did at certain things, but it definitely was you kind of get chuckles out of it. It's really good dialogue, and it's a really, really well-written movie. And let's talk about this cast, guys. This cast is phenomenal. If we're talking about just the cast alone, Charlie Hunnam is in this, and I will say right off the bat that Charlie Hunnam gives my probably favorite performance that he has ever done in a movie before. I mean, I love him in Pacific Rim, but I mean, that's not that's not this level of acting, where everything that he is saying, all the dialogue, all the scenes, every word he's saying, I'm hanging on to his every breath, basically. And it's one of those movies that's all the characters do this, where it's such a well-written movie, where I was it takes you to that place where an actor isn't acting. An actor is playing a part, but you believe that they're this character. You kind of just forget that this character is actually Charlie Hunnam. You forget that Matthew McConaughey, the man himself. All right. I'm not even gonna try to do that, but the man himself, you were glued to the screen. There was moments in this movie where I didn't know if Matthew McConaughey was the villain or the hero in this, because he kind of plays both. Like, he's got such a presence, and I'm also hanging on to every word of his because he's so charismatic. There's even this like little moment. I'm not gonna go into spoilers in this review whatsoever. I want you guys to go see this movie and not be spoiled, but there's these scenes where like he's so intimidating, and so I was really flip-flopping in my head, like what he really like, I don't know. It's definitely a movie it doesn't force feed anything. It allows you to kind of keep up with it. The first like 15 minutes is kind of this just like narrated, like very kind of stylized. I love movies that have characters that talk about like, okay, here's a scene. Like the character in the movie himself is saying like, okay, we have a scene and there's this character, and he's kind of like almost narrating the film as a film itself, kind of almost breaking the fourth wall, but not really. It's the character what is part of the film industry anyway, so it kind of made sense. But guys, Hugh Grant is in this movie, and he just delivers. He's not like my favorite character of the movie, but as this character, I believe his name was Fletcher in the film, definitely like I loved him. I loved his charm. I loved the comedy that came through with him. Him and Charlie Hunnam have so many good back and forth. Like, there's a lot of this that isn't spoilers because it's all in the trailer. A lot of the stuff in the trailer you can kind of like. And by the way, the trailers like never ever like gave away, or yeah, they didn't really give you anything. Like, I was so like, what is this movie even about? Like, you don't really know. And I think that's actually the film itself. Guy Ritchie doesn't just force feed things to you. He just really kind of crafts each scene. Like, every scene in this movie has like a reason to be there. And I would really like to see this Blu-ray of this movie and like just see what was cut out. Like, what did they have to cut out to make this make so much sense? Just to give you guys a general premise, Matthew McConaughey plays basically a drug lord that is, through the whole film, it's basically just a general plot is he's kind of just trying to keep his business afloat, and it's hard. I mean, it kind of brings this down-to-earth realism of like, okay, you have these people making like basically just selling, making weed and everything for you. I don't know all the technical terms for any of that because I don't smoke, so, and if you smokers out there, you can make fun of me, but definitely I love these kind of premises where it's like drug lord kind of crime type films. And Guy Ritchie does this one specific thing that I don't think any other filmmaker really is able to do, where he makes a crime drama kind of very talky movie. This is a movie that's very talkative, and like when the action scenes hit, they're really, really good and have a lot of weight to them, but they're like, he's very like able to make a movie like this that has some violence in it and everything a feel-good movie. Like, I'm sitting there like, how is this even possible? How is it possible that he's able to take a feel-good feeling vibe to this movie and add it to like such a like out there? I mean, because this is a movie about men, like a bunch of characters, really well-known actors that really give it their all in the acting, in their acting, and they like play these different characters that are very like over their head, like very but very smart people. Like, this is why it's called The Gentleman, because it's a very like I guess you could say British. So it's definitely a lot of this. I don't know what scenes really take place in America. I don't think there's really, I think it's all like just like the UK. So, and for that, I loved that. It brought a sense of like, you could tell, like, you just really believe it. When they wear the suits and they look good and they like have this accent, I believed it. Charlie Hunnam couldn't believe how well he was able to bring out this accent. Matthew McConaughey is just like Matthew McConaughey, weirdly enough, in this movie, and I really applaud him for this, feels like somebody different than the normal Matthew McConaughey, because Matthew McConaughey could easily play the type of character that is like just Matthew McConaughey over and over. But he actually really plays this character really to the T, like specific to this film. Like, and I really appreciated that. I was like I said, you just kind of you get those vibes from him. As like, I can't tell if you're really, really evil, really smart, or just really awesome and like really good guy. So in that way, you know, and Guy Ritchie likes to play with your heart. There's a few scenes that I won't spoil, like I said, where something is kind of imagined. It didn't really happen, but it's like something happens and they rewind to the moment where that character is imagining what he's going to do to this person or whatever. But at first you think it happens, so it's kind of that shock value. I really appreciate that in the films, and sometimes you're almost disappointed, though, like, oh, man, like I wish that would have actually happened to that person. There is one particular scene that actually does happen. Charlie Hunnam, I will say, like I said earlier, his character is my favorite character in this film. You would think Matthew McConaughey would really like steal my heart on this, but it was Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam goes like the best performance I think I've ever seen him do. And there's this one whole scene, and I love movies like this where there's this whole a whole scene that takes forever. It's like a 15-minute scene, like, or something like that. And he's basically just kind of showing up these other guys, like, and it's very intimidating. I believe, like, I pulled myself out of the movie during the scene, like, and I had this thought that I was going to tell you guys, which is like, I believe that he's this character. And that to me means a great actor. Like, I didn't see Charlie Hunnam, I see this character, and like he was super intimidating but super like awesome, kind of like the good guy, but he also, you know what I mean, like he's just like, there's this whole scene with him and all these like and these boys, and it's just like, that's my favorite scene of the whole movie. And I love movies that have scenes that take a long time and just kind of breathe. Like, this whole movie has so many scenes stitched together that are like, you can just breathe, but whenever violence hits, you're kind of like, oh man, like, now, is this like my favorite movie of the year so far? No. Is it? It's just this really good time at the movies that I really hope you guys go see. I know that some of you, and I said it in my quick thoughts video, are probably going to look at this movie as like, I'll wait on Redbox. Now, I'm probably going to watch this with Brian. I might even buy it. I'm kind of up in the air on that. Like, I don't know if it's kind of like, it's weird with me, like, some movies can be really, really amazing, and I still maybe not buy it on Blu-ray, but I'll think about it. Like, I'll definitely think about the purchase, but me and him are definitely going to buy it on at least rental at Redbox, because I think he would really enjoy this movie a lot. And so, with that, guys, just wanted to give you my thoughts on The Gentleman. I really enjoyed this. What would I give it on a scale of like 1? I'm going to stick to my rating system from like my main channel, just 1 to 100. I would say a solid 93. This movie really, like, for a Guy Ritchie movie, and like, because a lot of, I don't know, like Aladdin I really liked, and I got a confession. I don't know if I've seen Snatch all the way through. I know I've seen bits and pieces, but it's a movie that I definitely need to visit. I got a comment on my main channel saying like, hey, check out Snatch on, I think he said it's on Netflix, so I might have to take into that. And, you know, I'm probably going to watch it and be like, oh yeah, I remember this, and then like suddenly, but like, you know, but that's like the big well-known Guy Ritchie film that people talk about, that people really, really, really love. So Snatch, if you love Snatch, you're probably going to love this. It's kind of that same like charismatic comedy, a lot of, like, with violence, but it's like a crime drama, very talky movie. Like, it's a lot of scenes of just talking. So if you're one of those people that don't enjoy that type of thing and you gotta have nonstop action in a movie, then it's not for you. This is not John Wick. This is not Star Wars. This isn't any of that. It's just a movie. Like, and just learn to appreciate those kind of things, guys. Like, I've learned to just kind of open my mind over the years to just like watch movies that just have talking. Like, you'll really appreciate just the just the way it's put together, like, and like it's all in the writing and it's all in the characters, and this is a very, very character driven film. Like, it's extremely, like, if you didn't have these amazing actors and you didn't have this whole thing, the story itself wouldn't be as interesting. The story of this whole thing, this whole drug lord story there, wouldn't be as good at all without, like, Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Michelle Dockery, Hugh Grant. There's Henry Golding in this, Jeremy Strong, Eddie Marsan, and a bunch of others, guys. So definitely check out The Gentleman if you haven't yet, and let me know if you enjoyed this review. Do you want to hear me kind of go into more reviews? What I'm basically going to do with this kind of, with this type of podcast episode is, this isn't going to replace the weekly episodes of me and Dustin. So don't start thinking that. Like, it's the Thursday night on the listening platforms, and then Friday on YouTube episodes. Once a week, me and Dustin have been putting out I'll just call that the main show. Like, that'll be like the main episodes. But what I'm going to do is, just when I see movies and I feel like talking about it, and I just kind of like want to break it down and like just discuss my general thoughts just for fun and just out of the enjoyment of like talking about films, then I will put it, but in between the weeks. So you'll get the main episodes like every Thursday on the listening platforms, and then the episode obviously drops on Friday on YouTube. And so in between, somewhere before each new episode, it'll just be kind of like these in-between episodes, and I hope you guys understand what I'm saying with that. It's just, like, I'm just going to do occasional movie reviews, and they won't be every week, but they'll be, just like when I see a film, and like maybe I want to bash it because it was bad, or I want to praise it because it was good, because I love talking about movies, and I grew up on movies, and I love just sitting down with the simplicity of watching a movie and just indulging in a world that's not mine, even if it may look and seem like it, or just something like Star Wars, where it's nothing like our world. So, guys, let me know what you thought about The Gentleman, if you have seen it, and are you going to see it? Are you a Guy Ritchie fan? And me and Dustin will be talking to you in a future episode. We love you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you next time. And I'm not going to try to do Dustin's bye-bye, because he can only do that the right way. So you know what? I'll just do what I usually do on my my channel, my food reviews, is just say, Trav out, and peace out.